It's our final day here on the Great Canadian Book Debate. We started with 5 excellent titles. Each one carried us forward in different ways. 3 books have been eliminated, 2 are left, but only 1 can win. I'm your host, Ali Hassan. This is Canada Reads.
This is Canada Reads, Canada's annual title fight.
Hello and welcome back. Joining me for the final time are this year's panelists. Former Calgary Mayor Nahid Nenshi, actor and TIFF rising star Kudakwashe Rutendo, filmmaker and CBC Sports contributor Dallas Sunias, fashion and beauty influencer Marian Enjo, and acclaimed poet and author Heather O'Neill. Now, before we get into today's debate and the final 2 titles, let's start with the book that was eliminated yesterday. That was the novel Bad Cree by Jessica Johns. It was championed by Dallas Sunias. Hi, Dallas.
How's it going, Ali?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you for asking me.
Nobody asks you, man.
Nobody asks me. I'm great. I want to maybe focus on you for a bit. You gave a very passionate defense for the novel all week. Tell us how you're feeling today.
I'm feeling tired. I didn't really sleep last night, if I'm honest. Which doesn't make sense, because a lot of people, so many people reached out to me with so much support, which was so unexpected. So thank you to everybody. But I didn't sleep because I'm fairly embarrassed about how I handled the show yesterday. So I wanted to apologize to the 3 of you about how I was trying to put you off your game, and it didn't work, obviously. You guys are brilliant.
Apologizing to me, just saying.
You're good. This is what you do.
Your game didn't need to be rattled at all.
I really appreciate that, Dallas. And also, I think we all see where you're coming from. We are all friends, and we are all passionate trying to uplift these amazing books. So,
You're right. You're right.
You know, friends tussle from time to time.
yeah, every and I'll see you for dinner later. So it's all
That's
good,
true.
bro.
Yeah, you're right. So,
If you'd like, Dallas, this is a moment for you to remind Canada why they should all read Bad Cree.
absolutely. Bad Cree by Jessica Johns, narrated or performed by Tanis Parento beautifully. I want to let people know if you take this physical book and you want to read this thing and you get sucked into it, but if you're like me and the more you want to read something, the more your eyes start to dart around the page. And it's as though your eyes want to take in the entire page at once. And that's very frustrating. So you may put that book down. Maybe you don't pick it up. If you experience books like that, I would suggest audiobooks, because as it turns out, it takes away the whole decoding of reading a book, and it's a very different interface. So you stick it right in the ear goggles, like the Beastie Boys talking about, you know, strap on my ear goggles and I'm ready to go. It's a whole different experience. What you're using your brain for to decode, you then get to use to imagine what's happening in the book. And I can't think of a better book to start with other than Bad Cree by Jessica Johns, because, as mentioned, it is performed brilliantly by Tanis Parento. Okay, Ali, go for it.
Okay. Thank you, Dallas. Well, on day 2, Denison Avenue by Christina Wong and Daniel Innes was eliminated. That was the book that Nahid Nenshi was backing. Hi, Nahid.
Hello?
On day 1, we said goodbye to Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. That feels like a long time ago. That book was championed by Marian Enjo. Hi, Marian.
Hi.
So, Dallas, Marian, Nahid, you are our free agents. These 3 people hold the power to decide which book will be eliminated and which book will win Canada Reads today. Kudakwashe, you are championing one of the 2 books still in contention. It is the short story collection Shut Up, You're Pretty by Tea Matonji. Your book has not had a vote casted against it all week.
Not yet.
How are you feeling going into the finals?
I'm feeling very blessed. I think I mentioned it. We are all championing these fantastic books and supporting these amazing communities. And I'm going to give it my all. And I'm very excited to communicate my love of reading and hopefully share it.
Sure. Heather, your book is the other book in contention. The novel The Future by Catherine Leroux, translated by Susan Uriu. The Future has had votes against it every day. How confident are you feeling today?
I'm like Kudakwashe said, I'm just grateful that I've had the opportunity to meet these interesting minds and talk about literature, my favorite subject, with all of them. And it's been such a delight.
All right. Well, I will say from my vantage point, the delight has been palpable. I felt that you were clearly book lovers, but it's the final day. Let's do this. Our two contenders will now make their opening statements for why their book should win Canada Reads. Kudakwashe, you'll be up first. Okay. Here is the trailer for Shut Up, You're Pretty by Tea Matonji.
In Galloway, life can be tough, but Loli is a survivor. Forced to grow up too fast, longing for a sense of security, a sense of self, she ventures out into the neighborhood and the world beyond its boundaries. But chaos and uncertainty follow her. Yearning for a deep connection, she stumbles into uncharted territory. Slowly, she peels back the layers of her identity, femininity, and sexuality. As the shadows of grief, violence, and addiction creep into her life, Loli turns to face the light and embraces the beauty in the struggle.
Kudakwashe, you have 60 seconds. Why should Shut Up, You're Pretty win Canada Reads?
Why is Shut Up, sorry.
My apologies.
Why is Shut Up, You're Pretty the one book all of Canada should read? Firstly, craft. Every word on the page works together to make a comprehensive portrait of life, leaving a story that makes an affecting first read, as panelists have alluded. But even better, it is a book that gets more potent with each revisit. Tea Matonji is a poet. You feel that energy in her work and the deliberate word choice. But Shut Up, You're Pretty does all this, communicating art while remaining accessible. The everyday Canadian can read this book and derive a similarly potent experience as the voracious reader. But to touch on something I haven't yet, Shut Up, You're Pretty opens up dialogue, like all the best books do. And one of the biggest benefits of its setting in the modern world is Loli grapples with everyday problems of yearning for love, of struggling, of combating her own humanity. In her journey, we see how life can sometimes feel like a lesson in moving forward while hurting. But we can always stop, recalibrate, and eventually find our way back home and to who we can probably be.
Thank you, Kudakwashe. Okay, Heather, you're our other finalist. Let's check out the trailer for the future.
The French arrived in the 18th century in what's now known as the city of Detroit. But what if they never left? In another time, another space, Detroit is now Faute-des-Trois. It once gleamed with greenery. It now whispers of darkness, drugs, and despair. Gloria moves into the neighborhood, grieving her lost daughter, holding out hope for her missing grandchildren. On the outskirts of town, along the Rouge River, the flora is alive. The fauna are alive. Here, children roam wild, run free. This is the future, where we dream of beauty, of community, where green grows, hope springs anew, where wild children's laughter echoes through the trees.
Heather, you have 60 seconds. Why should the future win Canada Reads?
The Rouge shows us a path to the future, one in which people take responsibility for their actions, one in which no voice is considered insignificant. The art and thoughts of each individual in a community are needed for it to flourish. Leroux is one of Canada's great literary stylists. Her risks excite and challenge the reader's mind. She expands our idea of beautiful. I saw the world in a different light after reading Leroux's book. Leroux shows us a way to restructure our imagination so that we can free ourselves from the capitalistic logic we have internalized, so that we can give a beautiful and healthy future to all our children. As someone who grew up in a dangerous environment, I know exactly what it means to bring a child into a dysfunctional world.
With time to spare. Thank you, Heather. All right, there you have it. The final two books in the running are Shut Up, You're Pretty by Tea Matonji championed by Kurukwashe Rotendo, and The Future by Catherine Leroux, translated by Susan Uriu, and championed by Heather O'Neill. It is up to Kurukwashe and Heather to convince our 3 free agents why the book they chose should win today. It is time to debate. Okay, I want to compare the 2 books on the table directly. So, Kurukwashe, what does Shut Up You're Pretty have that The Future does not?
Yeah, I think foremost is accessibility. I think The Future has the most beautiful, dense, lush prose, but for the everyday Canadian, it might come across as a bit challenging. I know when I was reading it, there were some road bumps I ran into with just the descriptions and the paragraphs and the elongated metaphors. I think it's so dense and lush that it's easy to get a bit lost in. Whereas Shut Up You're Pretty, I found, carried the same art and majesty and wonder, but it was a bit more accessible. Speaking to Taya, she told me about her deliberate choice to choose everyday words so that people from every community, with all access to the various resources that communities have, can still read this book, can still derive meaning from this book. For example, one of my favorite short stories, and this is only temporary, it details the death of Darnell, who's a young Black man. And in one of the opening paragraphs, it uses it uses an aphora, which is this idea of repeating the opening part of a clause. It's usually poetic. We heard that, describing how people perceived Darnell, this boy who died. And then it's saying all the stuff that media perpetrates about the Black community. And then in the end of that chapter, it's told us who Darnell really is. And you get the immediacy, the potency of seeing how Black young men are illustrated in the media, and then you get it in that artful literary way, and in a way that is accessible because the word choice was deliberate to make sure that the everyday reader could access it. But you still get that beautiful art, that beautiful deliberate choice and mastery of skill and craft. And I think that in that way, Shut Up You're Pretty, it handles accessibility a bit better for me.
Heather?
There's this movement, like the books that sell now are the ones that are easy to read, the ones that are accessible. It's like if you go in the bookstore, they're just everywhere, and I understand that, and it's fun. But this is a literary competition, and I feel like it's a competition where books that are doing different experimentation, are working with different languages and genres and bringing them together. This is the only opportunity they have to shine. Without it, if we start doing that, there's going to be no more poetry. It's like impossible practically for so many different experimental writers to find publishers. It's impossible for French Canadians to have translated works. Even if it's a massive success, it never gets translated in the rest of Canada because there's this resistance to language. And if you look at novels that people were reading in the 20th century, the Victorian era, they are just so much more complicated, and they deal with, you have Moby Dick with these wild, chapters about whaling, which make no sense, but they create an atmosphere, and there's a way our minds have gotten boring and lazy, and I feel like Canada can handle this book. I've known people who've read it. Yes, sometimes you have to go back and read a line again. Yes, you may have to pause and think about things. But I just want Canada to have a challenge. I don't want it to be, this book is too hard, because I don't believe it's too hard. Because I am always in book clubs. I love book clubs. Invite me to your book club. And also I've gone into prisons with my books. And what is so amazing to me is the way that we underestimate readers, and when readers take their time with a book, what they can get out of it.
And you are talking about literal prisons, not a feeling of being imprisoned inside
I visit prisoners, and I do book clubs in prison, and that was one of the huge revelations, that they were able to respond. Like I brought in When We Lost Our Heads, and one of the prisoners said, I understand what you're doing. You're taking a classic novel, but using contemporary language to be able to talk about what we can talk about now that you couldn't talk about then. And I was like, this is an amazing, incredible discussion. And these are from men who have just Nobody expects anything of them. And there's something about books. If we take our time, you don't have to speed through a book. You don't have to read it in 3 hours. Yes, you can take it. And those are book clubs for. You're allowed to bring them to your friends. You're allowed to ask questions. You're allowed to underline. Yeah, that's great. There's a room for books that are easy to read, but that shouldn't just be the qualification for winning a literary prize.
Okay. Focusing on the books here, Kuda, what is your response to that?
Yeah, I think what Heather brings up is a really good point, but I do think at the end of the day, it's not really a matter of a book being, I think, easy to read or like shunning books that are more complicated, because I think there is an art in complexity, but I think there's also an art in simplicity. And in something being simple doesn't mean that it's any less artful.
Not at all.
Yeah, exactly. And also, yeah, I was like, I think our books tackle this in completely different ways. But for me, I was like, what Shut Up, You're Pretty did so successfully was it managed to use the most artful words and conventions while remaining accessible. And that was the biggest point for me, that I could say to anyone, oh, hey, I think you should read this. And that they wouldn't grapple, at the very least, in their reading experience, like navigating the world prose-wise.
But good luck with that. People reject short stories. And people say the exact same thing about short stories. They say, I don't want short stories. I'm done with them. I just want a novel. I want a character I can go through. Short stories, we have different threads, things that lose. Short stories, good luck trying to get short stories published. I mean, it's amazing. Vivek Shraya, who published this, is a genius and a magical figure in this country. But otherwise, getting a book of short stories, impossible. Publishers are like, don't bring them. The readers don't want them. They say they're too hard to read. So I
Let
could
me
bring
Dallas into this conversation here and put the question to you: what does Shut Up Pretty do that the future does not? Or what does it have that the future might not?
As you've both discussed, the language is very easy to understand. So much so that you feel like you're right there. You feel like it's you feel like it's a memoir. I actually thought it was. That's on me, of course, but I thought this thing was a memoir till the end. And I was so invested in the character's struggle until I found out a day later, it's not a real character, it's fiction. And then I kind of felt hoodwinked, but that, again, that's on me. But what I wonder about the book is, because I think we've all talked about how much trauma there is in the book, it's a through line. And then you get to the end, and as I mentioned, I didn't find a lot of resolution, whether it was good or bad. It was just kind of ... and that was the end. I wonder how that is the book to carry us forward.
Okay. I also want to go reference what Heather said about short stories, because I think Heather brings up a very fantastic point. I think in the literary world, it is a beast to navigate publishing short stories, especially as a debut collection. But what I really love and why I'm so happy to champion it is because it is short stories, and because as a reader, I also struggled with short stories. That I wanted to champion. I was like, I really want to explore a genre, but I was like, short stories have never stuck with me because I've always been someone who consumed and devoured novels. So what I loved about Shut Up, You're Pretty was that it was interconnected, because you still get that novel experience, and this is going to tie into what Dallas said. But also, I do want to reference something that I thought was so profound as a Black woman reading this collection of short stories. One of the questions I asked, because Taya subverts genre in the biggest way in making it interconnected. And I asked her, I was like, why? It's working for me, but why is it interconnected as opposed to just different characters, different stories? And she's like, inherently, implicitly, she wanted to follow a Black woman. But given the content of all these stories, and you're seeing a lot of difficult journeys, and there's not a lot of representation for Black women, especially in this way, to see all these different Black women struggle through the experiences that Loli struggled with, it would seem more universalizing as an experience of, as Black women, what we primarily experience is trauma. But in making them interconnected and making Loli one character who goes through all this stuff, it becomes not more human, but it subverts being universalized, because we know that this is one woman with this unique experience. I'm sorry I didn't get your point.
That's okay.
That's it for this round. I want to make sure I have enough time to turn to the future, which we'll do in this round now. Heather, I'll reverse the question and ask you, what does the future have that Shut Up, You're Pretty does not?
It has a sense of looking forward. I think what Shut Up, You're Pretty does, I think it's a sketch of a novel, and she proposes ideas. They're sort of vignettes of an idea of passivity and what it is to be in a woman's body. And she she sleeps around as a form of passive resistance. It's almost like anorexia. And she does it brilliantly. She brings us into what it feels like to be an objectified body, but she never brings us anywhere to any sort of resolution. Whereas when I met Gloria at the beginning, she was incredibly passive. But as I read the book, she earned, and I disliked her because she reminded me of so many people in my life who had betrayed and abandoned me, an extended family. So I hated her when I met her. But she earned my love through her deeds. And I was like, that's what I wanted when I was a child, for someone to earn my love with their deeds. All I did was go around trying to love, get any sort of love, and nobody would do anything for me. So, and then when actually, it's not only a resolution, but the moment when the children let Gloria into their lives, I also let her into my life. And then she was actually not a resolution, but a redemption for Gloria. And I love that. And I feel that in Shut Up, You're Pretty, Tea Matonji has such a lovely voice and is a natural storyteller that she introduces us to Loli, and we just adore her, and we follow everything, but there's never any sort of, she never earns our affection, and she never shows us any sort of battling of that passivity. And I almost feel like when Miriam was talking about romance, I'm like, that is why so many women are going to this new genre. I spoke to a bookseller the other day, and he said the biggest section in the store for theft now is romance. And he's like, these young girls come in and they can't get enough of the books, so they steal them, and they can't afford the whole series, so they're stealing them. And I was like, women want this new idea. I've read so many books. It's like, I know you say it's new, but the idea, it's cringy because it's like, it's still the same proposition as when I was in my young 20s. This is what we were writing about. And I'm like, there's no way forward. And then so all these women now are turning away and looking for romance because it shows a positive way for women to be active in the world and know their own desires and not just lie there and let any man take advantage of them. They're actively, you know what, there's a future. And I feel like with Gloria and in this book, there's the second act of everyone trying to change. And we just don't meet them and leave it at that. And there's a community that builds, and we see the way community interacts. We don't see the way community interacts at all with Loli. There's no interaction. There's no actual development with her mother or father.
Kuda, you've had your book open for a little while, and you've been scribbling notes. You're ready to respond to this, I imagine?
I am, because I think this is a really good point that Heather's makes, because I think a couple of the panelists have kind of brought up how they feel like there's no resolution. And I think when we think about the themes, primarily where people think there's lack of resolution is in her relationship with her mother and in just Loli's arc. And I'm going to address those 2 points as quickly and concisely as I can. So the first arc is just like with her blackness. And in that last paragraph, Loli references how her mom tells her that she must wrap her hair when she sleeps. And that is something, for people unfamiliar with like kind of Black culture, a lot of Black women and Black embodied people, we wrap our hair, and that's just an aspect of culture. But also it's something that is not typically done, that there's almost a resistance to be able to like do that freely. And when I read that, it's like you have to love yourself in the way that Black people, like openly, we must take care of ourselves as the Black community. But also in that last short story, when she gets back together with her mom, her mom says she wants to invite, like they could say all these things. They haven't talked in a while, we know this, there's a lot of tension. But they say, like, there's this line where it says, we don't talk about this day. Instead, my mother asked me to come home for Sunday dinner. And I think that is such an honest representation of family. Sometimes the tricky things, the heavy topics, we can't find our way easily to them. But it isn't showing your affection and showing care and doing the action and thought.
But I feel like you're reading into that, because the last story, it's like we missed the entire family for so long. And then there's a one-page story at the end where you're telling me the entire family is brought back. And it's like, I mean, Dallas brought up that he felt the editor had tacked this to the end. And I also felt that way when I read it. And so you're saying that this page-long story, because I also felt that some of the stories were dropped halfway through. It was an idea and it was dropped. And it's like, because Taya is such a young and lovely writer, like she has a natural ear for music, she is gonna be a big voice. We are gonna hear from her, obviously, you know? And I think that uniqueness in her writing style makes her lazy in the plot.
Interesting. Okay, so can I just...
Yeah.
So I think sometimes when we have expectations for stories, like to expect a neat little bow to tie everything up, because you also said that you didn't think that Loli earned our affection and earned our love, but why does she have to? As a character, why do they have, like, in the sense that why does she have to be this perfect, lovable character as a woman? I like that we disagree with her. I like that there's conflict, that it's starting discussion about things that we don't like that she did, and returning to the family, and then you can, actually, I'll let you interject now. So.
I was just gonna say, I don't say that she didn't earn my love. I said I loved her from page one. I instantly adored her.
Okay, I think never earns our affection, is that?
Yeah, because she doesn't have to. We adore her. But so, you know what I mean? But okay. So it's a character we love immediately. Marianne has something.
I think the thing is, too, everyone is deserving of love. So let's just put that out there. I know that that's a given. But we're reading a book. You're asking me to engage and remain engaged with your work. And so sometimes it's almost like Loli is like an anti-hero because you love Loli so much, you want the best for her, and you wonder if she even wants it for herself. And that's what sometimes is, it's so hard. And I connected with that part when you said her mother, there are these gentle pieces at the end where Loli is encouraged to connect with herself, and connect with her blackness through, you must wrap your hair. That is a subtle and that is beautiful. But then it made me wonder at the end, I like that. I see what Taya did there. But did she wrap her hair? Did she actually embrace the black? I don't know.
Okay, and I think that that's one of the majesty of the ending, because it ends with the lines, "Here we buy," and in this short story, it goes on to contextualize it. And in this short story, we see for the first time a very in-depth glimpse into Loli's mother, and into her characterization, and into her struggles as an immigrant. And "Here we buy" for Loli's mother was just some words she heard in like an infomercial as she was trying to learn English. But by the end, it recontextualizes itself as something to push yourself forward. That as immigrants, it's hard. We're battling so much. We're trying to learn languages through infomercials, but we just keep saying the words that don't make sense to us until they gain new meaning. And to end it on that, on a note of perseverance, on keeping going, for me, that was very powerful.
We have 1 minute left. I want to get Nahid.
I just want to say this has been so helpful for me, this debate and having our discussion, because, Heather, one of the things I had wanted to say to you is, please tell us about the book. You've been talking a lot about the idea of the book and the style of the book, and this is one of the first times I've heard you really talk about the book, though we ended up talking about Shut Up You're Pretty for most of this time. The only thing I want to say is something that occurred to me in this debate is, I'm going to say controversially, that Shut Up You're Pretty is not a collection of short stories. And I think that Taya is actually using that form as a crutch for the fact that her novel is not fully formed. And the reason that I say that is because the second to last story has nothing to do with the family or Loli's struggle. And the very last line is, "I miss my mother," which just gives you a play into the final 1.5 page story, which I do not think is an in-depth view of the mother. It's just the first time we've seen the mother in a couple hundred pages. And so to me, that ending is still not earned, and the short story genre is not the excuse to say that that's why the story doesn't end well.
And with that contentious statement, that is it for that round. Well, the final day of Canada Reads can get intense, as is happening right now. There is only one winner on Canada Reads, but over the 4 days, all 5 panelists have gone on a very special journey to find the one book all of Canada should read. But we would like that special journey not to be fully over yet. We have a surprise for each one of you.
Hello, Miriam. This is Mom with greetings from home in Liberia, West Africa. I want to say I'm very proud of you for entering the Canada Reads contest. That you were selected to participate is a big win. You know I'm a sucker for love and romance novels. I love you and congratulations.
Hi, Nahid. It's Shaheen, your favorite sister.
Hi, Mama. It's Sophia. It's Asha, your favorite niece. I think we all know that I'm the real favorite here.
I'm so happy that you taught yourself to read when you were 2 years old so that you could help Nanima find her favorite shows in the TV guide, to now championing your favorite book on Canada Reads.
I know your passion is going to shine through this week. Have fun.
Go, Nahid, go. We love you. Well, most days.
Hi, Dallas. It's your loving wife and son back home. What an adventure you're on right now. I could not think of anyone better to defend this book and represent our people on TV. You have made us all so proud back home. Be kind to yourself throughout this process, because remember, you continue to inspire not only myself, but everyone around you. Your passion is so contagious. We love you so, so much.
I love you, Daddy. Proud of you.
Hey Heather, it's your daughter, Arizona. I remember being 12 years old when you won Canada Reads for Lullabies for Little Criminals, and it was a life-changing experience. I can't wait for everyone else to hear you talk about books, because recommending and discussing literature is your love language, and there's nothing I enjoy more in this world than discussing books with you.
Hi, Kuda Kwashe. This is Amai here. I know reading has been your passion from an early age. When you volunteered at the library, I'm so proud of you and know how hard you have worked to get here. And we are all praying and cheering you on. I love you, baby girl, and I'm really rooting for you.
Those were the voices of Myrian's mother, Nahid's sister and his nieces, Dallas's wife and son, Heather's daughter, and Kuda Kwashe's mother. I'm Ali Hassan. This is Canada Reads on CBC and Sirius XM. Let's get back to the debate. Okay, Heather, on day one, you said that the future reflected the human desire to create community and family. Kuda Kwashe, on day two, you said Shut Up, You're Pretty reflected how we as humans crave community and connection. So if both of these books are about the power of community, family, and connection, which book explored this best? Myrian, I'm going to ask you first.
I would say that I would definitely say The Future probably explores it best, because when I think about, you said it's community, and what's the other term?
Connection.
Community and connection, yeah. So you can see that there's almost two different communities, and they're really formed. We have the community of neighbors on Avenue Clyde, and then we have the community of, as I call them, wildlings in the forest. And they are, I refer to them as their ecosystems. They're self-contained ecosystems, and they thrive and exist off of each organism playing their part to make it happen. You know, we have Theo, who's a nurse, and then we have, you know, there's so many characters that all work together, even Whale and the Tree, and Fiji has a role, and everybody has their role, and you can really see, you know, how they all work together and lean on each other and rely on each other. And Shut Up, You're Pretty, you know, I think even though it has so many strengths, I don't know that I necessarily felt that was one of them as much. We know that Loli has a community that supports her, but it's almost similar to how Nahid said before, it's almost like sometimes they exist to serve her. We don't really know how she serves them.
Okay. Kuda, would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, so I think one of the best chapters that Shut Up, You're Pretty illustrates like connection and community is with Loli in the short story Shut Up, You're Pretty, with her connection with Patty. And I also was having that thought when I got to that point. I was like, you know, Loli's friends really sometimes seem to be there for her, but like, you know, I want to see her care for them the way that they care for her, because I think Patty was probably the perfect example of a really good friend. Loli insinuates she's not well, Patty's out, and she comes home in an instant. And, you know, there's this moment that, you know, Patty craved a kind of stew that was made back home, and then Loli calls Patty's mother and is like, you know what? I want to make this for her. I want to give that to her. And then it kind of walks through her doing this, cooking for her. And I feel like cooking is a way that we show love. And it's like food, I think, is one of this, like, especially for like immigrant communities and people of color. We notice that all, like, yeah, it was like, I think food is like a way to check in and make sure someone's okay, especially when you can't articulate in other ways that you show love. Inversely, I really did love The Future, but I was like, some of the things I struggled with is, especially in terms of the community, I think that there's so many characters that sometimes it feels a bit easy to get lost in them, and certain ones are, it seemed like it went more in depth than others. And I like the comprehensive view, but I was like, especially when you're balancing so much, and because again, as I alluded, the novel is so dense. As a reader, the book will love you as much as you love it, but you're challenging yourself. You're really putting yourself to work to grasp it, because especially at some points, the world seems to develop to lean more to the metaphysical and metaphorical than the concrete. When you ask someone to concretely map it, it's hard. So I was like, with that, and adding all these characters and trying to draw the ties between the relationships with each other and community, and you're trying to understand this alternate history Detroit and so much going on, I felt a bit lost in everything that was just seemingly thrown at me.
As far as the community, I think with all the characters, I mean, it's done sort of stylistically, like they're kept in the middle. And I think she does do an excellent job of threading them all together. And I think, but Gloria is the protagonist, and I think because she's an older woman, people are incapable of seeing her as a protagonist. But she's clearly moving through the books. Yeah. And it's like, if you want to create an unlikable protagonist, start with this line. Alice was 50. Everyone will immediately hate her and think there's something wrong with her. So anyway, but and one of the things in all of these, all of the books that were brought up, in Denizen Avenue, Bad Cree, and Meet Me at the Lake, it's this sense of there's all older women in it who are necessary for a community. And I feel one of the reasons Loli is in the position she is in is because she lacks in the world, not even in the book, but in the outside world, this idea of like capitalism is based on middle-aged women and above being cast aside, burned at the stake, their value. They cannot be productive in a society and happy for capitalism to work. And the reason Loli is so lost is, and she talks about it, is she doesn't know what it is, but what it is she doesn't have a vision for what it's like to turn 50. And it is amazing. And she needs to start, instead of just acting as though her early 20s are the peak time of her existence where all she can get from life is the gaze of men. She needs to be working on herself, going to school. She needs older women as models, and she just is looking around at girls her age, and they're unable to provide any lessons for her. And I'm like, where are the older women in her community? So that was one of the things that I really thought in the future. There is just every person you see them related to a community, and we see Gloria build herself a community, and within that community, she is able to become a different person herself.
Let me put the question back out there. Nahid, asking you, the power of community, family connection. Which book explored this best?
Yeah, my life is community and thinking about ways in which to build community. And in this case, I would actually say that the least hard part of the future is the discussion of community, because it's so obvious from day one, page 5, when Gloria meets Eunice, her next door neighbor, and it's tragedy that brings them together. But Eunice immediately, through food, but also through many other things, said, all right, here are the people I know who are going to help you, and I'm going to take you around the neighborhood, and we're going to meet all these people, and we're going to find those grandchildren. And then, of course, there's the middle section, which is about how the children have created this weird community there. So in my mind, that's all there. And my challenge with Shut Up, You're Pretty on this front is very specifically, as Myrian has said, that the community feels incidental to Loli and to the story of hers. So I said before that it feels like you're sketching out Galway, and I don't know Galway, but that sketch could have been any immigrant community as far as I'm concerned. And, you compare it, for example, to Catherine Hernandez's Scarborough. It was on the show a couple seasons ago, which is such a richer description of what can only be Scarborough. So in that way, I think the future was much more about community and connection, and Shut Up, You're Pretty kind of a swing and a miss on trying to talk about community, but doing it only through Loli.
That is it for this round. These two final books touch on heavy themes of poverty and despair, but they also explore the power of hope and resilience. Both books are about finding the resolve to carry us forward through life. So which book had the most compelling portrayal of hope and resilience? Dallas, I'm going to ask you first.
Obviously, as I've been critical of the ending of the book. It's not as though I felt the future had a brilliantly hopeful ending.
When you said you've been critical of the ending of the book, you did point at Shut Up, You're Pretty. I interpret for the radio
clearly a visual
audience.
guy.
Absolutely.
Shut Up, You're Pretty. I've been critical of the end of that book. So with the future, it's not as though I feel as it did an amazing job wrapping it up. the author did a fantastic job bringing it all together in the end, so you understood these characters that you, as you mentioned, you don't even really like. You understand the characters more and what's going through everybody's mind in the last 20, 30 pages of the book. So I feel as though the future, even though most of the book went over my head, did the best job of having a cohesive ending.
Cool.
When I'm contrasting the two endings, and I find that also this speaks to a larger critique and just examination of the future as a whole, it ties back to the imagery. I love a good literary book. I love giving all the dense, fabulous prose, but I was like, the power of the future for me was it was almost metaphysical. It was the idea of many ideas. It was palimpsestic of the future being overlaid with the past until it's one over the other and these beautiful ideas of humanity. But when you try to concretely grab something, it was intangible. The world for me was also intangible in the sense it was an idea that I was wading through. And even the ending, it was this intangible idea of the future, of possibility, of hope, but balancing it with the past and informing it with everything. And it was beautiful. But I was like, concretely, and taking, like, if I tried to critique it, like, going deep in depth into it, I was like, it felt intangible to me. It was, the beauty of it is in the metaphors. Whereas I feel inversely, since Shut Up, You're Pretty is, again, grounded in a contemporary world. I feel like its tie, for me, its tie to contemporary issues was just a bit more direct in the sense that it was concrete references of things, like the references of infomercials. And since the way it was written, I felt like it leaned less on imagery and metaphors in a sense that it didn't use elongated metaphors as much as the future does. I feel like when you're trying to grasp the ending, it was easier to digest and kind of analyze, whereas in the future, it was a dense paragraph ending that was beautiful, but very dense and hard to figure out absent help and absent guide.
I know. Okay, we're gonna move past the I get it, the book is dense, but that doesn't actually have to do with the hope. And I mean, she brings in, if we just look at the natural world and how she addresses it and dealing with climate change and the struggle, and sort of at the beginning, I mean, it is a dystopia. So we do have at the beginning of dystopia in the dystopic genre, or subgenre of dystopia, you often begin, it doesn't matter what got them to their place, because what it is speaking about is that we all live in such a fragile world because of the geopolitical structure. Anything, as we see, we see in Calgary, like fires, where you're from, there's like, anything can push us to that. Like in Station 11, do we care that it was a flu that killed all the people? No. When we read 1984, are we like, give us even more backstory about Eurasia. I don't understand exactly what country it is in, what exactly, like, where would they file their taxes? Do they have, you don't ask these questions. What we want to know is what happens after, like, how are we going to rebuild? Or how are they dealing with this catastrophe? And a lot of times it's really, there's something joyous, and like we like dystopia sometimes because it's so awful, and there's something kind of perverse about liking dark literature, which I love sometimes, just let me see it all fall apart. But then she reverses the dystopian genre and makes it into the idea that disaster can actually herald change, and that we're living in a time of great catastrophe, all of us all over the world. It's hard to watch the news. But there is a way for us to come together as a community and come out of that. And I feel that idea of hope, I had never really thought about it before. And I felt like a different person. And I thought about hope in a different way.
I want to get Myri in on this.
Okay. I'll try to be brief if I need to. But I think that Shut Up, You're Pretty has a lot of strengths. It's evocative. We're here hammering at it because we feel passionate about it. But the way it kind of carries us through, it's like it abruptly stops the car and just pushes us out. Like, it's like, get out, we're done. And the thing about the future is it has its flaws. Yes, it's dense. Yes, at times it's dry. And you do have to stay committed to the process of finishing this book. But if you stay committed to it, it does reward you as a reader at the end. I didn't have any questions about what happened to Cassandra and Matilda, and did I believe it? Was it on brand for these characters to behave the way they did? Fiji graduated from the Wildlings, and that made sense. Gloria came to peace with Judith's passing, even to the point where she got the urn from the kitchen and made peace with it physically. The children are playing in the water. If we're talking about hope and resilience, you know, Shut Up, You're Pretty, it whispers hope. It whispers, like, there might be some hope here. The future, we're dancing in the street. Like, it couldn't be more apparent that there's hope. So if we're judging it on that criteria, then that's what it is.
Dallas, final thoughts to you?
I'm just absorbing that. That was brilliant. Like, you got to get on more panels. You know? I think my biggest critique of the future, if I may, is you have a kid playing an ocarina, you have a magical horse, and you have a fairy running around giving people good advice, and no mention of Zelda. That's the biggest miss I think the author could have made. Sorry, it's not landing right now.
Video game reference.
I know it is.
She's locked in on hers. Yeah.
Okay, we have 35 seconds.
Okay, and then just to speak to this, I was like, the biggest qualm that I think all of us have with the future is no one can map the world. And beauty is great, and we want that, but we can't tangibly get a sense of it. How come the other world isn't intervening? There's all, like, they're doing tours in this world, but we can't get a sense. And I feel like that's the biggest problem for us. We're trying to bridge these gaps, and I realized my reading experience. I loved it, but then I was like, actually, if I take a step back, what was the world? In Hamlet, I love Hamlet because I know they're not going to come back as zombies. But Bleach is a fairy, but it's like a linear in this world, but is it magical realism? But it is this history in this world with all of the things that we're capable of, but there's a fairy and they can talk to trees. What is the future's world? That's what I struggled with.
That's it for this round. Okay, Kudakwashe and Heather, you're almost done. Here is some motivation to help you make it to the final vote.
Hi, Kudakwashe. I've been thinking of something you said. Seek disruption. That is the beauty of literature. It is possibly also the beauty of life. I can't imagine how uncomfortable and vulnerable and joyful sitting at that table must have been for you this week. I celebrate you for your willingness to sit in discomfort, to sit in vulnerability, to sit in joy. That is your art. That is your strength. That is your beauty. Thank you for championing our stories. This is just the beginning for you.
Heather, I have been in awe all week. I knew going in that my champion was one of the brightest writers and most eloquent thinkers, but you still managed to blow me away completely. Hearing you talk about literature with such nuance and respect just makes me want to write 100 more books. T'es la meilleure. Continue.
Those were the authors of the book still in the running for Canada Reads. The first voice you heard was Thea Motonji, and the second was Catherine Leroux. It is a victory to make it to the final round, but there can only be one winner. Kudakwashe, Heather, it is almost time to vote. You have one last chance to persuade the 3 free agents at the table that the book you are championing should win Canada Reads. I'm going to give you each 30 seconds. Kudakwashe, your final chance to make a case for Shut Up, You're Pretty. 30 seconds are on the clock.
I really want to harken back to this idea of seeking disruption. I think for everyone, the problem with this book was never about the writing, and it was never about being affected. And that's what we need. That's what is going to bring Canada forward. And then when I contrast this with the future, I think we all struggle with the world building. We're just not convinced of its setting. And for me, that's a really big qualm. One of the benefits of Shut Up, You're Pretty is it's tied and connected to the contemporary world, leading a direct line to dialogue and discussion of contemporary issues, like struggling with beauty and self-worth, and as a person of color, and these immigrant communities that have been neglected oftentimes. That is a strength.
Thank you, Kudakwashe. Heather, one last chance to defend the future. 30 seconds are on the clock.
Dallas, you love your boy so much, and you've talked about how it changes you. And the idea, like, even of your boy alone in the woods, like, your boy should never be left alone. It's not even only your responsibility, but that of the whole community. Nahid, you've presided over 6 state of emergency in Calgary as its illustrious mayor. You know how communities come together. Miriam, you have introduced me to so much. And there's genre, and it's played with genre, with magic and fairies, but also the power of women in that, and the thirst for adventure that is in women.
Thank you, Heather. That is it for this year's debate. It all comes down to this. Panelists, it's time to cast your final vote. Your ballots are in front of you. And just like you have the last 3 days, you are voting to eliminate a title. And the last book standing will win Canada Reads. Once you voted, Charlene from the Canada Reads team will collect your ballots. She will go around the circle. Please hand her your ballot when you're ready. Okay. Again, at the table, a mixture of confidence and some deliberation as you voted. I will say that this is what it all comes down to. There are parties across this country watching this exact moment and hoping to, that it would come to exactly this. And I will say that the passion with which the arguments were delivered leading up to this were wonderful. I want to say hello to the watch parties, Ottawa Public Library, Berks Falls Library, Callender Library Watch Party, and the Cross and Crows Finale Watch Party in Vancouver, Cross and Crows Books. You can also, for those of you who are listening on CBC Radio 1 or on the podcast, welcome you to this final moment. And those of you who are watching on CBC Gem and CBC Radio 1, welcome to all of you. Thank you, Charlene. I have the ballots in hand. Heather O'Neill, let's start with you. How did you vote?
I only had one choice. Shut up, you're pretty.
Yes. We still ask, just in case. That is one vote against Shut Up, You're Pretty. Kudakwashi Rutendo, how did you vote?
The future.
We start with the obvious. One vote against Shut Up, You're Pretty, and one vote against the future. Nahid Nenji, how did you vote?
I voted to eliminate Shut Up, You're Pretty.
We have 2 votes against Shut Up, You're Pretty. One against the future. Dallas Sunias, how did you vote?
I voted against Shut Up, You're Pretty.
We have 3 votes against Shut Up, You're Pretty. And with that, Shut Up, You're Pretty has been eliminated, and the future is the winner of Canada Reads 2024. Marian Enja.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Huh? There are no secret ballots on Canada Reads.
It's hot.
I will let you know.
It's provocative.
It is provocative. Shut Up, You're Pretty was your vote. And we have, there's not much time left to talk about this. I would love to talk to both of you at length. I'll have some time to do so. But that is something, the book that all of Canada should read is The Future. We're going to celebrate the winning panelist and author on CBC Radio's Commotion tomorrow morning. With this little bit of time that I have, how are you feeling, Kudakwashi?
Very emotional.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
All right.
It's okay.
I am so grateful for the chance that I've had to champion this book. For me, I touched on this. As a Black woman, seeing representation and seeing what Tay has done, I'm thankful to Arsenal and to Vivek. I think that amazing things have been said in Shut Up, You're Pretty. And I think the exact reason that people are uncomfortable are why we need to read this book. Because I said this on one day, but I was like, just because, as uncomfortable as you are reading it, we've experienced it. And I really hope, I really hope people take the chance to re-examine that book in this lens. Everything that has made you uncomfortable has been experienced in someone's lives. And there's so many potent discussions about community. And for me, this was finding my way back home. This was permission to mourn and to come to terms with things I've struggled with my entire life. And
Kuda, this is a terrible time for me to interrupt you. An absolutely awful
grateful.
time, but we are going to have to say goodbye. The Future, championed by Heather O'Neill, is the winner. It's the one book all of Canada should read. We'll celebrate the winning panelist and the author on CBC Radio's Commotion tomorrow morning. Goodbye to radio. We have a few more minutes on TV. Until next time, read on, Canada. My apologies for rushing through that.
Can I say something?
But this is now my time to turn to you. Congratulations. Heather, tell me how you are feeling.
I mean, right now, I just want to say, Kudakwashi, You are incredible. Like, you came up, you're 22 years old. Like, you're coming up against me. I've been in the industry. Like, I talk about books for, for decades more than you've been alive. That you came and put me on edge, and you saw me with my papers. I couldn't sleep last night because I knew I had to go up against you in the morning. The way you have spoken about literature, and just even after, like at the beginning of the show, I said I wish we could speak 8 hours a day. And like, you know, you and Marian and I, we would sit down in the hotel and just talk about literature, and to have the perspective of two younger, just such brilliant women on the publishing industry, it has like just touched me so much. And I'm so thankful for that.
I want to also take this moment to ask you if there's anything you would like to say to Catherine Leroux in this moment.
Catherine! I feel like, yes, I'm so happy. And I want to thank Catherine for giving me a book that I didn't run out of things to talk about. And each day I found new ideas in it, new themes, new things to touch on. So thank you for giving me this book.
I'll let you also give that message yourself. We have Catherine Leroux here to celebrate alongside with you. Hello, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm feeling all the emotions right now, but the main one is gratefulness.
Very nice congratulations to you both. I think, you know, I should mention that this is, I mean, I think at some level, there is some surprise here as you came into this last, you know, this final day with no votes against you. And I think you might have had a feeling of being an underdog, Catherine. So it's like a little bit of a, you know, on est bouleversé un peu, right? We're a little bit turned around here, but...
That's how I felt, but if I have a few seconds, I want to thank Heather, of course, because you're such a great champion. Obviously, you were magnificent, but I want to thank all the panelists for all of their comments, positive and negative, because it's so rare that we get this insight into our readers' minds and the questions that the book raises in them, and I feel immensely privileged to have been witness to that. So thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Catherine. Nice to have you here with us. Congratulations again. Félicitations. Well, we talk about Canada Reads as a competition. You know, at its core, it is also this country's biggest book club. You all love a book club. It's very clear. Ever since we revealed the books and their champions in January, readers across this country have been discovering, reading all 5 titles. It has been, you know, once you put the competition element aside, it's my favorite thing about this, that people read with such passion. So I want to ask, yes, Heather?
One thing. Yeah. I also want to thank Dallas for bringing the conversation about dyslexia onto the table. Like, you've just done such a service for the country, and your honesty with your disability has just helped so many people. And Nahid, it's been like such a joy to go up against you. As soon as I knew we were going to have a debate, I was like, what an imaginary thrill that is.
I feel like you two could still have a debate.
Yeah. Rematch WordFest Calgary.
Absolutely. I think that just happened because you just said it. You know, I want to say that I came into this, I was joking that it was the character I will play on Canada Reads, but it's actually me. And I came into this as someone who has let books leave his life. You know, I'm obsessed with screens, and I worked hard to find a time and a place for me to find reading in my life again. And for me, because I travel a lot, I now never will watch a movie on a plane. You know, I read books in doing that. And it's been wonderful for me to, and I hope people will get that and learn to read books. It's been wonderful for me to meet 3 of the 5 authors and learn about their craft, to learn about the publishing industry. I'm so happy for the future. But I want to say something extremely sincerely.
You have 10 seconds.
The best thing for me of these last 2 months is getting exposed to this brain right here, to Kudakwache, and the way she thinks. And man, I want to keep, and I know I'm going to keep hearing from you forever.
Right.
Totally.
Great words to end on. That is it for another Canada Reads. That's it. I mean, thank you for everyone who joined us this week. A huge thanks, my undying thanks to the entire team that produces this show. You can catch up on Canada Reads 2024 at cbcbooks.ca. You can follow us on social media at CBC Books on Instagram. You can catch me today on CBC radio stations across the country celebrating Canada Reads and discussing how the final vote went down. A final thank you to this year's panel, Nahid, Kudakwashe, Dallas, Myrian, and Heather. I'm Ali Hassan. This is Canada Reads. Until next time, read on, Canada.